The problem with the Democrat Party is a very simple one. They don't live in reality. They live in an Alice in Wonderland fantasy that is completely detached from the real world that the rest of America lives in. And I think the best example is poor Jim Acosta from CNN. You saw his reaction at that Trump rally. He didn't understand. Jim, how did you not understand why Trump supporters don't love you? You need to get out of your bubble. Let me answer the question of what is the Democrat platform this way. The Democrats have no platform, they have no leadership, they have no message. If you had to come up with a Democrat platform, it would be, I don't know, we want to raise your taxes. Maybe we want to bring ISIS back. Perhaps we should allow everybody into this country, because they are messaging that all of the things the president has accomplished are bad. Lower taxes, building the wall, crushing ISIS. I don't care who you voted for. If you don't think these are good things, then you are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. I am an American. I've got a strange accent, I know, but I chose this country. I am a legal immigrant to the United States. One of the things that typifies the average American for me is our sense of common sense, that we look at the world as it is, not as we would wish it to be, and that's very much a defining factor for our current president, Donald Trump. Let's look at the economy. We now have, basically, functional zero unemployment. There are more jobs available in America than there are people looking for jobs, which means if you want a job, there is a job out there for you. There are oil companies today, now that we have unleashed the American economy in the last year and a half, there are oil companies that are offering $25,000 cash signing bonuses. But to Nancy Pelosi, it's just all crumbs. People are being told that you have to readjust your withholding tax when you declare your taxes, because you're going to get more money back as a result of the tax reforms the president signed. But again, to Nancy Pelosi, she says, who cares? Who cares if we have no unemployment? Who cares if you're getting money back? It's all crumbs. Well, I don't know. If you're trying to make car payments, if you're trying to buy your kid an extra pair of shoes at the end of the month, I don't think you think it's crumbs. We were told by President Obama that ISIS was a generational threat. It will take generations to defeat this enemy. Well, I guess Donald Trump crushed a generation into about 6 months, because the ISIS caliphate is gone. And most Americans feel safer today now that we have Donald Trump in the White House. It's just common sense. If you let our military do the job they were trained to do, we will be safer. America is back. American leadership has been reasserted, from the president's revitalizing of NATO, from speaking tough to our allies in the Middle East, to rebuilding our relationships with key allies like Israel, our closest friend in the Middle East, and the only true democracy in the region. That makes sense. No more apology tours. And this is really what it's all about. It boils down to one thing. It is fun to be an American again. It is good to be an American again. And the Democrats need to stop hating themselves.
What's the difference between a socialist Democrat and a Democrat? Is there a difference?
The difference between a socialist Democrat or a social Democrat and a Democrat, no, there is no difference. Why? Because the lunatics have taken over the asylum. You look at the Democrat Party always had its extremists, always had its crazies on the fringes. But there were always people in leadership on the left who could rein them in. I'm no fan of Bill Clinton, but he was a pragmatist at the end of the day, and he could rein in the crazies. But when you have Maxine Waters as a face of the Democrat Party, when you have this woman, Ocasio-Cortez, who is the new leading light on the left, who simply doesn't understand how the world works, I'd love to know, her major was international relations. So why does she say in an interview, I'm not the person to ask about geopolitics? Well, what were you studying, Miss Cortez, in international relations? Was it gender aspects of international relations? Was it critical thinking as opposed to anything else? So the Democrat platform is, oh, I know what the Democrat platform is. Whatever Donald Trump does, we hate it. That's the platform.